Hi.
What is that? Get rid of that. All right.
So, we had some problems.
Yeah, we're dealing with some problems right now. But we're working through it. Um, Hold on. I'm trying to mess with all the settings right now to make sure I am audible and not screaming the whole time. Yeah, I know.
It's just a reflection of your brain.
Test. Oh, screw it. I'll just disable that.
Okay. So yeah, we're doing our best with smiles on our faces. I still don't have glasses on, so I still can't see shit, which is fucking stellar.
Yeah, and Discord is completely fucking with us, so we have to try an impromptu studio setup.
And if you see me squinting, it's because I'm trying to read the chat.
This
Hi,
isn't
Mike.
this isn't really studio setup. This is just two people crammed into one camera.
It's a good thing we like each other.
Yeah. Oh yeah, Mike, this is incredibly uncomfortable. Because we're not facing each other and we're not talking to each other. We're talking to
Do you
the
want to
camera.
just do the whole podcast like this?
I would like not to.
I'm going to.
Okay. Stilted dialogue, yeah. It'll be like whenever wrestlers are trying to watch a match on like a TV, but like they're facing the camera, so they're like this the whole time.
They're like cheated out.
Yeah.
So happy Smackdown. It was disappointing. I'm gonna be honest with you. I wasn't very pleased with today. I don't know if you were.
I mean, the last 5 seconds.
We got a couple good matches.
Yeah. The last 5 seconds were disappointing. Kevin Owens coming back is probably the worst possible scenario. I would prefer Damian Priest at that point.
The pause they took. The pause they fucking took before Kevin Owens came out.
Mm-hmm.
They knew what I wanted.
Yeah.
And because Kevin Owens' intro sounds just ever so slightly like Burn It Down, I was like... And then Kevin came out and I was like...
And also, to make matters worse with this podcast, my tongue still hurts like a bitch, so I can barely talk.
Dude, I bet if you had a cocktail, it would help.
No. It'd sting. All
It
the
doesn't.
alcohol in there.
It doesn't sting. I've had so many canker sores, it doesn't sting your mouth like that. The wounds in your mouth are very different from the wounds on your skin.
A bitch hurts a lot, Mike. A bitch hurts a lot.
Depends on the bitch. Our cat is also still sick, but she will not be in this podcast because we are stuck in this room.
If we do a studio setup from now on, it won't be this close. And this awkward.
What will it be?
It'll be us most likely sitting at a table or something.
A round table?
Ideally.
Who's going to be the head of the table?
I don't know. Roman.
I thought you would say cat.
No.
Okay.
I don't want the cat at any table.
It's between you and her. Let's get into the news. I have so much news for you today. Jesus fucking Christ. I am in a lot of pain right now. Mark's in pain because his mouth hurts. I'm in pain because I started working out again. And my muscles... Oh, for fuck's sake. They are not... Oh. Oh. New day. Same fucking problems, huh?
Yeah. It's a low energy podcast, but yet Liz still insisted on bringing the signs.
I have high energy. That's from 2 cocktails. All right. You ready for the news, Mark? I'll sip a gin.
There's the end stream button.
No.
I can't even escape you by switching to my camera. It's gone. You want to see what the Mike Romies looked like? That's what it looked like.
Mike was there. Just not Mike Rome. You want to switch in?
No.
Bring your spirits up.
No.
Okay, whatever. Loser. So, Elimination Chamber finally has a set date. It has been revealed. Do you want to know the date?
I know you're going to tell me anyway.
I am. It is February 21st, 2021. That is when our cat is due for her rabies vaccine. Are you excited?
No.
Okay. Actually, to be fair, I'm not really excited for Elimination Chamber either. I feel like coming off of Royal Rumble, Elimination Chamber is always just like... kind of like, oh, okay. Back to the same old schlock.
Elimination Chamber is one of those super gimmicky pay-per-views that like never works. Rumble's like the only gimmicky one that really works.
To be fair, Shayna Baszler in the last one slamming Liv Morgan's head into the plexiglass wall. That was a bit much for me personally. I watched that like 3 times now, I think, and every single time I'm just like, chills.
I put Elimination Chamber in like the same grouping as like Stomping Grounds, Crown Jewel, like the lame, boring, probably horribly booked pay-per-views.
Royal Rumble's one of the big 4, right?
Yeah, it's Rumble, SummerSlam, WrestleMania, and
Survivor Series.
Survivor Series.
Which I always confuse with SummerSlam. Yes.
No, I don't think it's Survivor Series.
Yes.
I don't think
Big
so.
4, WWE, PPV. Love when everything is...
Oh, wait, I think...
Rumble, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Survivor Series.
Okay.
You got the 2 Sus.
Yeah. Even Survivor Series is very gimmicked, and that doesn't always work. I think it only works when NXT's a part of it.
Which we might get them for Rumble, at least. Maybe not at this point. So much shit to say here. Before I get into that, though, the WWE broke a... The WWE broke a...
All right, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
The WWE...
No, too fast. You're going to stumble again.
Oh,
A little slower.
okay.
A little slower.
The W...
No.
Ah!
Slow it down.
Just saw the knob go orange.
Slower. You're going to stumble.
The WWE broke a record. I got it all out. So the WWE broke a record. Would you like to know what that record is?
Guys, some of that alcohol.
I offered it to you before. Yeah, give me some of your canker sores.
Leave your lipstick all over this.
It's nude. I keep having to, like, re-scoliosis myself just to be in the camera. Would you like to know what the record is? I'm gonna keep asking you if you want to know about these fucking...
Wait, so WWE broke a record, not any wrestler?
Correct. The corporation itself.
Sure.
They broke the record for most edits to their Wikipedia personnel page. 53,000 edits. That is the most that any page in Wikipedia's history has been edited.
Is that like ever or in a certain amount of time?
I assume in the lifetime of Wikipedia. So, maybe not the best record to break.
I mean, I guess it's... No, I think that's... Oh, wait, like the personnel's like the list of people?
Yeah, the one that like we always go through when we're trying to figure out like who could possibly be like revealed at certain points.
Yeah, I mean, like, that probably includes like changing people's names, statuses, like injuries and stuff.
Firing and rehiring.
Shifting brands, stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's just, that's... The person that originally had it was George W. Bush. He originally had that record, and WWE just broke it.
Oh my god.
Which, I guess if for breaking records, fine. Speaking of personnel pages, Jay White is no longer listed on the NJPW roster, which everyone is saying is just a fucking work. But, I know that he's, like, listed for the match, in some match in March. But I'm still holding out hope.
You don't even watch NJPW.
I'm holding out hope because he was supposed to come to WWE.
Oh.
Yeah.
He's not gonna.
I know.
There's no way he's going to.
I meant to bring this up. It's actually about NJPW, and I don't know if I bookmarked the fucking article because I don't even know who got mad about this, but... Oh, yeah, okay. It's actually got something to do with NJPW. So as people might know, AEW had the Good Brothers and Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks together for a Bullet Club reunion. Which I took issue with.
I mean, you're not going to get, like, Finn Balor or Adam Cole on it.
Right, no, I'm not saying that, like, I just don't, I don't know, it's weird to call 5 people from a massive group of people a reunion. However, Tama Tonga took quite a bit of issue with that. And he basically said that apparently, he's like, now a reunion. How can it be a reunion when Bullet Club is still here, aka in Japan? We ain't ever went nowhere. When you're hashtagging that and calling that Bullet Club, that's a slap in the face to us that's still riding with Bullet Club in Japan. He said, now, hey, y'all can do your thing, do whatever the hell you want, but do not call it Bullet Club because you're not Bullet Club. And now that you've got a reunion, are you going to come into Japan and what? Is that a reunion for us too? Nah, I'm pissed off.
Mike just said that's 10,000% in character and trying to work some kind of cross-promotion.
See, after the initial me reading it, I realized I was like, my mind went all the way back to that article saying AEW wanted to work with NJPW. And I was like, when he said, so what, you're going to come over to Japan? And I was like, wow. Well, they might. That'd be interesting, though. Bullet Club versus Bullet Club.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What if you get NJPW Bullet Club, AEW Bullet Club, and WWE Bullet Club all in a tornado tag?
Now that's what I call a Survivor Series.
And that's what I call an elimination chamber. Yeah, your thumb did not show up.
This is gonna suck. Alright, so I guess I was gonna mention this last time, but then we were talking about Brody Jr., and I was like, I don't really want to talk about AEW in a negative light. But now it's time to talk about Chris Jericho.
Alright, good night.
My dude tested positive in fucking September and still showed up on all their shows. And no one said shit about it. No one said shit. And now he comes out months later and he's like, yeah, you know, that did happen, huh? And everyone's like, oh, Chris. That's Chris being Chris. I think the only person that's like actually said anything about it was Sean Ross Sapp, and that was about it. I think it's irresponsible, Marcus.
He might have tested positive when getting tested, like, outside of AEW, because he said he was asymptomatic, and so nobody might have known.
But I feel like if you're working in a company that's, like, you know, contact sport, you should be, A, getting tested regularly, which I thought AEW was doing, and B, when you get tested, if it comes back positive, somebody should probably know. Mm-hmm. You'd think. That's not one of those things where they should be like, oh, Chris had COVID. Don't fucking tell anyone, though. That's really embarrassing. You know? I mean, AEW was, like, the first between WWE and themselves to, like, be testing people and making, like, an effort, it seemed.
Mm-hmm.
And now it seems like the cards have flipped completely. Because a lot of people are saying that WWE is doing better with testing.
Yeah. Kevin Nash was the big one to say that. But speaking of COVID...
Oh, would you like to talk about my almost last note of news?
Wait, what?
Well, let me head it off with my part of it, and then you can say what I know you're about to say.
How about I start off with mine? I feel like that's a better transition.
Sure. Have fun.
So, I forgot what I was gonna say.
Oh no, Mark. Come on, buddy.
No, Ricochet and Casey Catanzaro, for those who don't know, are dating. And they, including last night, had the second maskless party in 2 weeks.
First of all, how do you have the energy to have two parties in 2 weeks? My ass would have to nap.
As Mike said, Ricochet hangs out with convicted sex offenders, yeah.
Yeah, that's a thing, isn't it? That's a bit of news that just kind of came out and then...
They're both incredible morons.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't look very smart either, to be totally fair. God. I remember when the news about Ricochet and his pals came out, and I was like, oh. But yeah. And on that note, in addition to that, Ricochet has stated that he's not leaving the WWE. It was rumored he was going to at the end of this month. He is not. But, like, also, like, my dude, if you get COVID, I don't know if wrestling's really in your future anymore. If it's bad. Because, like, didn't one of the Young Bucks get it? And they're like, dude, it sucks. It's, like, really fucking difficult.
I can't remember if it was one of the Young Bucks or someone else.
I know it was a tag team member. I just know that, like, there was an article, because I think they were on a podcast, and they were like, they're fine. Mm-hmm. But they said that it makes working out and, like, doing wrestling so much more difficult.
Mike confirmed it was a buck.
One singular buck.
$1.
Mike, are they brothers or something? Because they look really similar.
I think they're twins.
If they're twins, I'm going to feel actually kind of like an idiot.
Yeah, Mike said they're brothers.
Okay. So, in addition to NXT news, the whole maskless parties in Casey Catanzaro is kind of concerning because now NXT is going back to doing 5 a day. I knew I was going to make that mistake too. 5 a week classes, 5 days a week classes at the Performance Center. They were originally doing like 2 a week through like Zoom calls basically, but they're going back to the 5 days a week schedule, and a lot of NXT performers are like, but what if we didn't? Concept.
Yeah.
Which they don't need it seems.
Mike mentioned that we don't see much of Casey on TV right now, and I think the reason for that is they're saving her for the Xia Li story, because there's not really a place for her or Kaden right now. They've been trying to focus. You haven't even really seen much of Ember either. They've been trying to focus on Rhea, Raquel, Candice, Shotzi.
Which I think is another thing that's like kind of a perk of NXT is that we don't get like 5 billion storylines all at once. So we don't get these like wasted promos. Mm-hmm. But I also think that there's room to say that Xia Li, if they can get her over in enough time, will probably end up going after Io.
I don't think so. Because they have Mercedes going after Io right now.
Well, everyone's going after Io. She's got the title.
And then Shotzi's going to go after her and win. So, like, Xia doesn't really fit in there.
Why do I bother?
Don't argue with me. I don't make the rules.
Final piece of news. Our final piece of news tonight is that apparently NXT, whoops.
Yep, NXT.
Main roster talent is getting frustrated with the piped-in noises.
I wonder why. It's almost like it all sounds cheesy and fake and stupid.
That's not why. The reason why is because the volume levels change. Like, people cheer louder if they're trying to get somebody over. The person that they're not trying to get over isn't cheered as loud for. And they said it's like... Because sometimes you don't really know what the end goal is at the end of the day with your storyline. Or with your match in general. And a lot of, like, performers are like, well, this sucks. Because, like, now I'm out here, I'm wrestling. And I'm not getting, like, the honest feedback. I'm getting Vince McMahon's feedback.
Yeah. Like, it's the whole thing with intros and stuff. Like, if it was, like, a real audience, you would have equal amounts booing and cheering. Now you have all booing or all cheering, with everyone on the LED screens being told to thumbs down or cheer, stuff like that.
Yeah. But yeah, apparently that's a frustration for some at this time. This is a fucking juggling act. At least can you put this on your desk just so I don't have to deal with it?
Can I change the sign?
Be my guest. There you go.
Oh yeah.
It's already got the blue on it too.
Alright, let's see. That's good. What did I do to my lips? I don't know what I did to my mouth?
Your canker sores, goofball.
Oh, yeah, I've got a canker sore on my tongue. It's literally the worst. I can't do anything with my mouth. I have to basically talk like this.
I think it's handsome. Makes him look like a grizzled
young vet.
veteran. Glad we're on the same page. Well, would you like to start us off, Mr. Marcus?
Okay. So, Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman backstage. They're trying to figure out a stipulation for...
Trying to pick the stip.
For Royal Rumble against Adam Pearce.
It's just stips and nips.
Stips, nips, rips, kips, ups, zips, lips, tips.
Tits?
Anyway, and that's really it. And then we have Jey Uso in the ring,
Just talking absolute shit.
Jey Uso's the worst.
Jay went from, like, this, like, tortured poor little dude in my eyes to, like, just being that kid at, like, the fucking, like, family reunion that you're just like, I'm this fucking close to slapping your teeth out of your fucking mouth.
He really sucks. Fuck Jey Uso. All my homies hate Jey Uso. Jey Uso.
Jey Uso.
Juice.
Ginsu knives?
Juice.
Mr. Juice.
Juice.
That's what we're calling him from now on. Kind of works, because, you know, it's got oos in there.
Yeah. Juice. And then Jimmy is...
I don't like where that's going.
Jess.
That implies that Jay's got an sound in his name.
Juice. Jess. Juice and Jess.
I'm laughing so hard my shoulders hurt. Anywho.
So we got Juice talking in the ring. No gist today. He's just rambling on. Basically jerking off his cousin, saying he's responsible for helping everyone in WWE.
Thank you, Roman.
Mm-hmm. And he declared his entry into Royal Rumble. Can't wait for Roman to eliminate him.
Wait, can I just say, when Drew Gulak was like, I want to be in Royal Rumble, and Adam was like, no, you can't do it like that. What are all these other people doing that are coming out and being like, I declare myself for Royal Rumble? Like, that is the same thing, Adam Pearce.
Yeah.
Fucking loser.
And then Shinsuke comes out, and all he does is call Jay a little puppy.
And Jay's face, dude. Jay immediately, he is going off on Shinsuke, and all of a sudden Shinsuke comes out and he's like, you're a puppy, and Jay's like, it's like, damn, dude.
Why'd you have to go and do that?
I was like, I don't know. I think being called a puppy is actually kind of nice. I mean, I guess, like, not what you're going for when you're with the big dog.
Yeah.
But,
And then we get Shinsuke Nakamura versus Juice.
Speaking of Shinsuke Nakamura, we got babyface Shinsuke music today.
We did, because we have babyface Shinsuke, but still kind of heel Cesaro. That irks me a little bit. That gives me bad vibes.
No, because I think we're just going to get a, like a Roddy and Kyle or a Drew and Sheamus kind of deal at the end of the day, if it gets to that point. I don't think Shinsuke is going full babyface. I really don't. I just think Shinsuke is going less heel, more towards the middle.
Okay.
But also, myself and a lot of people, because, like, when the music came on, I was like, that sounds weird. But they were doing weird shit with the camera. And then the crowd sounds were so loud that I was like, maybe I'm just imagining it. Sounded weird.
Mike, I don't know if you noticed, but the camera for all of the walkouts was super fucking weird. It seemed like they had, like, the focal length. Like, they used, like, a whole different camera for just the walkout. And, like, the focal length was so shallow. And I think they had, like, a different frame rate on that camera than what they were broadcasting at. Because they're probably broadcasting at, like, 30 frames per second. They might have been shooting that camera on, like, 60. It
was weird.
It was very weird.
Made them look like little video game characters.
Yeah, or like a toy that was like motion capture. Or, what's it called? Stop motion.
Yes. However, so as Shinsuke comes out, he kicks Jey in the face and then just kind of stuns for a bit before the match starts. I'm gonna have to, like, look down this whole time. I can't, like, look ahead. Maybe. Got it. And they said it couldn't be done. So we start with some forearms to Jey and a takedown into a drop knee on Mr. Juice. Then there's a headlock that Jey fights out of, and then shoulder tackles Shinsuke. We get like a sliding drop kick, sort of, maybe like a basement drop kick. I couldn't tell. The camera angle's shit. But a drop kick all the same to Shinsuke's head, and then a spine buster to Shinsuke. Shin gets Irish whipped into the buckle. There's an enziguri to Jey, and then some knees into Mr. Uso's shoulder. Shinsuke plants Jey face first before kneeing Jey's shoulder a couple more times. Cesaro comes out, just smiling, just having a good fucking time to be there. Good day for Cesaro. Shinsuke drives Jey into the announce desk and then the post. Jey lifts Shinsuke to ringside, and then Jey kicks Shinsuke in the ear. Jey also slaps Shinsuke like a little bitch. Cesaro announces that he's going into the Royal Rumble. Hell yeah, brother. We get a knee to the face of Jey, and then that's fine. We get a knee to the face of Jey, and then Shinsuke, like, either sounds like the sharp part of his shin or his foot. The angle, again, was, like, horrible. To Jey's face as well. There's a knee to the midsection, then a sliding knee for Jey. Shinsuke gets the sliding snap German suplex to Jey Uso, and then there's a Samoan drop onto Shinsuke. So the joy only lasts so long. Jey uppercuts Shinsuke, and then there's a neck breaker. Shinsuke dodges Jey, sending the poor man face first into the buckle. Shinsuke goes off the second rope with a knee that connects to the sweet face of Jey, and that was like full connection. It was no Jey Uso off the ropes move. That was pure Shinsuke right there.
Yeah.
We get a failed Kinshasa as Shinsuke runs right into a fucking super kick. Jey goes for the Uso splash, but Shinsuke gets his knees up. It's the typical failed Uso splash that you know is going to fail before it's a failed Uso splash, because Jey lands on his feet and then falls forward. God bless him. Jey dodges Shinsuke, sending him into the post, and tries to roll him up, but Jay's legs are up on the rope and Charles Robinson is like, you can't do that. Sorry. Mm-hmm. That's not the fucking rules. So instead, Shinsuke takes advantage of the fact that Jay is pissed off at Charles. He rolls him up. And then they get a Kinshasa to win. Because Shinsuke is a precious little baby angel. And Jey Uso needs somebody to slap him in the face. Also, Jey Uso looking paler and paler every fucking day. I'm worried.
Why are we getting Kevin Owens at Royal Rumble and not Shinsuke? That would be the much easier option. If you don't want to bring back Seth, just put in Shinsuke. You have this match against Jay. Have a face-off against Roman next week. And then boom, Royal Rumble comes. And Shinsuke loses. Instead of having a three-peat with Kevin Owens.
I don't mean to John Cena Seth right now. But there is still technically room for Seth to come back in this, in Austin Theory. And by that I mean, there was the Kevin Owens-Seth feud back maybe a little over a year and a half ago now or something.
When is Royal Rumble? The 31st?
Yes.
We still have 2 more episodes before that.
He's not going to come back before Royal Rumble. I can almost guarantee you that.
He might. Well, Kevin Owens could get injured in that time.
It's possible.
I want him to.
I really hate that they gave us a last-minute surprise.
It's not even last minute.
Well, no, what I mean last minute is like in terms of the episode last minute.
Oh, yeah.
And I thought, perfect timing for big reveal because that leaves people wanting to tune back in on Friday next week. Mm-hmm. And they said, no. We don't want people tuning in. We want it to be the same shit that you've already seen so you don't feel like you're missing out on anything. But anyway. Let's move on, please.
Then we have Sonya Deville and Adam Pearce talking about the challenge.
My bisexual fantasy.
You find Adam Pearce attractive?
I don't know what it is. I hated him. This is the thing that happens.
Any man who wrestles, I'm telling you. Any man who
not
wrestles.
True. Not attracted to Jay.
Not this Jay.
I'm not attracted to...
See, it's tough for you to think.
Who am I not attracted to?
Think about everyone in this episode.
Everyone in this episode. So we had...
Here, I'll list off names.
I'm not really down with Shinsuke. I think he's a cutie pie, but...
Roman.
Yeah. Oh my god. In a heartbeat. He doesn't even have to ask. He just has to, like, look at me and nod, and I'd be like...
Apollo.
Too cute. Too sweet looking.
Rey Mysterio.
Nope. Not a million years.
King Corbin.
I'm gonna plead the fifth on that one.
Dom.
No, he's a baby.
He's like the same age as us.
Yeah, he's a baby.
Daniel Bryan. Oh, come on. Daniel Bryan's new haircut is great. It makes him look really good.
I would, but he wouldn't be allowed to talk. Only because I feel like he's the type of guy that, like, you're laying in bed and he says something, like, fucking stupid, like... I looked in a bear's eyes and I connected with it. And then I'm just gonna have to be like, please leave. Like, he seems like the type of guy that's gonna say something dumb as shit and you're just gonna have to be like, yeah, Dan? Yeah, buddy?
Chad Gable.
No.
Really? He and Daniel Bryan are the same height.
He's got, like, a short person mentality, though. He's kind of cute, but, like, nah. Not quite.
Otis.
No.
Oh, don't do Otis like that.
I'm not saying I wouldn't, like, be friends with him. It's just not my type.
Cesaro.
Yeah.
Yep.
In an instant. He's so handsome. And kind of annoying.
In the same way, like, Adam Cole is.
I would say more so in the same way that, like, Roddy is.
Okay.
Because Roddy's handsome, but I'm just like...
No, Kyle.
Fair. That's fair.
Roddy's like...
Or like Breeze. Like, Breeze is a cutie pie, but like he looks like he... like. I would have to be in a good mood, I think, to deal with him.
Roddy's a moron. That's why I don't say him. Cesaro is 100% not a moron.
Roddy tweeted that he and Marina, I guess, are trying to build a home gym. Mm-hmm. And he was talking about, like, the best, like, kind of, like, punching bag or something.
Mm-hmm.
And he added Marina in the tweet. And I was like, are you guys not, like, discussing this together?
Yeah, no, they're not.
Just bringing in all their own separate shit.
Sami Zayn. Sami when he was, like, in a tag team with Kevin Owens. Not Sami with his current hair. Like, short hair, kind of short beard.
I like the mid-length hair. But I do love me a socialist bitch, so...
He's a humanitarian.
Instantly hot.
Mm-hmm. El Generico, Sami Zayn.
I'm sorry, they're two different people. El Generico is currently running an orphanage in Mexico.
Oh, man. Also, it's also... I don't know why this thought popped in my head, but happy birthday, Preston Vance.
Press 10 to speak to Preston Vance.
President 10.
President number 10. What's the 10th president?
I have no clue. Lincoln was the 12th, right?
Sorry, computer. You're already dying.
This is gonna fall. What is it?
Who was the 10th president?
It's on your AirPods. Silicone?
Who was the 10th president? John Tyler.
Who? There was a president named John Tyler? Whomst?
Don't look up the fact that I just looked up DJ LeMahieu's natal chart. John Tyler. Was he the hottie one? Or was that Zachary Pierce?
That was JFK.
Wasn't John Tyler the one who died, like... He died, like, a year after he got elected, I think, because he... Oh, no, he was a full term. I don't know. He was, like, I think the tallest president, though. I think he was, like...
Not Lincoln? I thought Lincoln was the tallest.
Who was the tallest president? Ew. Lincoln was only 6'3". Sad.
Is he the tallest?
Yeah. John Tyler was up there. He was a gangly little bitch.
Hmm.
I think he was the one who died from pneumonia.
That'll get you. In the 1790s.
Well, he died in 1862.
1850s? 60s?
Oh, no, it was a stroke. I know there's a president who served for like a year because or not even, because he gave his inauguration speech in the rain and then died like from pneumonia shortly thereafter.
Yeah, I know, I've heard of the story. I can't remember who it is.
Shortest presidential term.
Like LBJ or something?
The shortest presidency was 31 days. William Henry Harrison.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, my dude just said, I'm fine. Anyways, welcome back to the Wrestling Podcast.
AKA Tallest President Podcast. TPP.
Who do you think was the hottest president?
Wait, Tallest President Podcast, also the Pinfall Podcast. TPP.
Welcome to the Long Con. This is just a podcast about Abraham Lincoln.
Yeah. But anyway, where the fuck was I? We had Sonya and Adam Pearce talking about the challenge. Paul Heyman enters, brings in the contract, says a stipulation is a no disqualification match. Adam's like, no way, that's just Roman trying to injure me. And then Paul Heyman's like, whoa, Sonya, that is some strong perfume.
Effective.
Effective perfume.
Which Sonya made the same face I made, which was...
Because I feel like that wasn't scripted.
He probably just kind of felt bad that he's just, like, ignoring her existence entirely.
Yeah. Or actually thought her perfume was strong.
To be fair, anytime I wear perfume around my stepdad, he's always like, what, did you bathe in that? And I'm like, I sprayed one spray on myself.
I can imagine Sonya wearing, like, a nice cologne.
Yeah, I was going to say, I can't imagine her wearing a perfume.
Mm-hmm.
Also, I'm looking at the hottest presidents, and George W. Bush is in the top 10. So
Wait, George W. or George H.W.?
George McW. W.
Okay. JFK has to be at the top.
JFK is number 3. Apparently, people are saying that this weirdo
Frank.
and this weirdo are the 2 hottest. Franklin Pierce and James K. Polk.
Where's Obama on that list?
Obama is number 6. So he ranks above W, but below JFK.
Everyone should rank below JFK. JFK is the hottest president.
Perhaps a little morally corrupt, but he was a president. What do you expect?
I mean, what president isn't morally corrupt?
I think at the end of the day, the one silver lining about JFK is that although he was...
Assassinated? You can say assassinated.
I was going to say an adulterer.
Oh.
But, also, I was going to say that sometimes you can look at it like, well, he was assassinated because he had a lot of really liberal plans for the time. Yeah. Which doesn't mean it was a good thing. I'm just saying that if you're going to be assassinated as a president, I guess that's not the worst reason.
Hey, he brought us to the moon. To the what? To the moon! Did you hear it that time?
That's the first time I've ever heard that in full.
Hell yeah.
Nice.
Alright.
And we brought it back to wrestling.
So we had Charles Robinson and Jey backstage arguing. And then Jey insinuated that Roman is going to come after Charles Robinson next. And I can't wait for at Elimination Chamber, Roman Reigns versus Charles Robinson. That's when Seth will appear.
I just like the idea that they're just about to fire every single referee that doesn't go with their plans, which seems like it's probably going to be every single referee.
Yeah.
Because very few of them like to deal with heels.
They'll have a guest ref that's Jimmy Uso.
Yeah, actually, you know what? That probably will happen.
Yeah. And then we have a little interview with the Street Profits. They're down after their loss and when they lost their titles, but they said they're going to go back for it. I just hope we don't get a Street Profits Angel Andrade situation where we just get those same matches every single week.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then we weirdly get Roman in his suite with Apollo Crews. Apollo seems like he's studying under Roman. Because Roman said he'll be learning a lot. And then Paul Heyman comes in with the contract and says it's a no disqualification match. Roman's like, no, I want a last man standing match. And then Paul wisely says that Adam Pearce will never go for that.
I just... the look on Paul's face when Roman was like, no, I don't want that, was just like, I have to deal with this. Mm-hmm. Constantly.
And then a surprisingly good match, in my opinion, is up next. Natalya versus Liv Morgan.
Oh, is that the word we're using to describe it?
I thought it was good up until the distraction ending.
Okay.
Because Liv was doing a great job. Natty was, being natty. I feel like that's just gin you've got in that cup.
That is just gin I've got in that cup. That's why I've got the seltzer. Welcome to the bartending podcast.
Bartending is just pouring gin into a cup.
First you do that.
A lot of gin you just poured into that cup.
That's a lot of gin. It's when I'm looking at it from the top down, I don't notice how much gin is in it.
You can also look at it from the side. That's an option.
That's not seltzer. That's about equal parts gin and seltzer. Don't worry, folks. I'll get to the bottom of this. Keep them interested.
And she's gone.
It's okay. Because I have another seltzer. A little flatter, but yeah. And I'm back. Ugh. Hello. All right. Natty versus Liv, which I actually kind of thought was going to be a tag team match.
I'm glad it wasn't.
The way they mentioned, like, the way they were talking about it when Natty and Tamina were coming out was, like, that's what it felt like.
Mm-hmm.
So we start... Natty shoves Liv. There was a nasty fucking Hurricane Rana from Liv to Natty.
Mm-hmm.
I think, honestly, this match looked good because of Liv.
Yeah.
I hesitate to say that sometimes, but I think she looked really good tonight.
Liv is the saving grace of the mid-card on the women's side of SmackDown. If it wasn't for Liv, the women's mid-card would be awful.
Yeah, one day they say if it wasn't for Liz.
If it wasn't for Liz, we wouldn't be in this situation.
Oh. Okay. Anyways, Liv pushes an elbow into Natty's face. There was a move that I have no clue what it was. I didn't know how to describe it, and now I definitely don't have a clue what it was because I didn't describe it. All I know is that they basically ended up on the mat. Like, Natty's head was next to Liv's shoulder. Like, they were laying down, Natty's head was next to Liv's shoulder, and Liv's head was next to Natty's shoulder. They do some grappling. There's a Russian leg sweep to Liv, which apparently my laptop likes to correct to live occasionally. Natty springs Liv off from her feet and then drives her throat first into the ropes. She then suplexes her. There's an inside cradle on Natty and a backbreaker submission to Liv. Liv slaps Natty and then rolls through. She ensiguris Natty in a way that just knocks Natty down flat. Natalia drives Liv into the corner, and then we get a big discus clothesline that Natty still has not told us what she's renamed it yet. She was going to rename it for Brody.
Oh.
But also, if you're on TV once a month, I guess it makes sense we wouldn't know yet.
I mean, she might just name it like the Harper Lariat or something.
True. But we get a discus clothesline to Liv. And then Natty goes for the figure four, and Billy distracts her, which doesn't work at all. For the most part, I guess. I don't know. Usually when there's like one distraction that ruins a move, you expect that's the next step towards the team winning.
Mm-hmm.
And we almost got that. We got the jaw of Natty getting pulled into Liv's knees. And then Tamina yells at Billy for distracting. Billy runs through the ring to escape, which distracts Liv, who's going for her finishing move, and gives Natty the chance to roll Liv up for Natty to finally fucking win a match.
Can I just say, why did you type out Billy as Billy?
Because I'm taking notes as a match is happening and my brain is not correcting anything I do.
And why did you shorten Tamina to Mina?
Because it's much easier to type out because the T and the A are over here, but there's an M-I-N-A. Much simpler.
Huh. Mina.
Instead of do, or rather, do. Ah! Shit. Ah. Anyways.
It's hard for me to think of Tamina as Mina.
Oh no, it definitely doesn't make any sense. It sounds like a very like small demure woman, but
yeah. But yeah, I enjoyed that match for like up until Billy ran into the ring.
It didn't make sense. Why would she do that?
She's a wrestler. She should know.
Yeah.
And then we had Rey Mysterio versus King Corbin. A match that really made Rey look like a chump.
Yeah, it's getting sadder and sadder every fucking week.
The man is a former world heavyweight champion and is afraid of Corbin because he is a Golden Glove boxer.
So let's start with some non-match notes, if we will. First of all, Rey Mysterio comes out wearing what can only be described as a singlet with the pattern of a diaper around it. Dom also comes out with him and sits at the announce desk, and Corey Graves just takes the absolute piss out of him for the entire match. which I personally found quite enjoyable.
But on the bright side, at least we're back to just Dom and Ray. No Aaliyah or Murphy now.
Yeah, I don't know what the vibe is with that. I don't know what the vibe is with that at all.
Please tell me. I hope they're just booted out.
They're on their honeymoon. So we start with a head scissors to Corbin, sending him into the turnbuckle. Corbin Irish whips Ray into the buckle, and we get a clothesline on the rebound. Then we get a belly to back to Ray. He counters the second with a bulldog on Corbin. Corbin sends Ray just penguin sliding out of the fucking ring before clotheslining him ringside. And then he just goes up to Dom and shoves Dom back into his fucking seat. Corbin begins quite literally obliterating Dom ringside while Ray tries to get his wits about him. Once Corbin is back in the ring with Ray, there's a dropkick that definitely doesn't fucking connect in any way whatsoever. Good job on Corbin for fucking selling it like a champ. We then get the senton to Corbin. Corbin catches the crossbody attempt. He goes for... I think he looks like he's going for the deep six. But instead, Ray gets up top, and we get a very pathetic fucking head scissors. Corbin manages the deep six finally. We get a good old fast Corbs right into a kick in the face from Ray.
That was the best part of the match right there.
They just said, no, you get nothing. Corbin ducks below Ray, who is baseball sliding out of the ring, and then grabs him and puts him against the apron. Dominic gets up, tries to fucking interfere. There's a 619 to Corbin once Ray's back in the ring, and Ray has to stop Dominic from getting into the ring to fight Corbin himself, because Ray is not doing a good job of it. And then Corbin pushes Ray into Dom. We get a fucking end of days like the good old days. For a well-deserved and long-awaited Corbin win. In my humble opinion.
It's been a while.
It's been a whole minute.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then we get Adam Pearce backstage with Paul Heyman. And Pearce asks Paul if Roman signed a contract yet. And Paul just said, "We're finalizing some things, yada, yada, yada." Promo just to fill time. And then we get Ray and Dom backstage, and I have no idea what the whole point of this thing was. I don't even understand a lot of what they were saying. Dom was just asking why he didn't fight Corbin, but Ray did fight Corbin.
But did he?
Dom's like, why didn't you stand up to him? But it's like...
Ray's like, I did. It just looks like I'm kneeling when I'm standing next to him.
He just lost to him.
We did, however, get my favorite thing that I don't think anybody screen capped because I don't think anybody else found it nearly as funny as I did. Ray just goes, and I want to do this while I'm in camera, but like he just goes to Dom like...
It wasn't that. It was...
So I'm personally going to have to go back into Smackdown to screen cap that.
You have to, like, cross your eyes a little bit so it looks like he's blind. Feeling up his son's face to try and remember the contours of his face.
Oh, God. I need Ray to stop wearing those fucking contacts.
And then we get a new talk show to SmackDown. Ding Dong Hello. Hosted by Bailey. Guest Bianca Belair. This was so dumb.
I liked it.
This was stupid because it was just like you could have replaced it with just a shit talking promo. That was really it. That's all it was because they were just arguing with each other. You didn't have like the Hollywood charm of The Miz. You didn't have the professionalism of Alexa Bliss.
I really don't like them. I don't like Miz TV that much at all unless it's the dirt sheet, so.
Right, because that's like TMZ.
Well, mostly because I get Johnny just talking shit on the sidelines.
Yeah, and that's also like a good duo chemistry that works really well in like that kind of setting. And like Kevin Owens is great because he is very cordial and genuine. Bailey just wanted to shit talk.
Yeah, I don't know how long they're gonna do this for because I didn't see anything about this happening anytime soon, like in the news or anything.
Mm-hmm.
Usually with like that kind of stuff, there tends to be.
Yeah, like every time there's a moment of bliss, there's like a lot of ads for it.
And also, when a moment of bliss was coming back, post full Alexa Wyatt, if you will,
Mm-hmm.
there was a lot of like stuff like on Wrestle Talk about it and stuff like that. Like when there's gonna be a new talk show, people usually talk about it prior. So I don't know how long this is gonna last for.
Mm-hmm.
However, I think that we are missing something very important, which is the KO show.
Yeah, but Kevin's too busy dying. Plus, he can't top that last one on NXT. That was perfect.
That was actually art.
And then we have Daniel Bryan training with Chad and Otis doing their pelvic thrusts while kneeling.
Hips and nips, baby.
And then they're talking about Shinsuke. You know.
Daniel Bryan says that he respects Shinsuke and shit like that, and like he knows that Shinsuke respects him or something. I don't know.
And then Cesaro walks in and starts making fun of their training methods. And then starts talking shit to Daniel Bryan. What?
Did you not just do that?
That was the ice machine.
Oh.
And then we get Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
Yeah, Daniel Bryan gives a very weird line towards the end of that promo where he basically... Because Cesaro makes fun of their training and calls it the Macarena. And Daniel Bryan essentially says something along the lines of like, I'll show you how well this works or something like that, or something about his hips, how well they work. And I was like, this feels a bit sexually tense.
So somebody just posted on Reddit what the new camera was for, which gave the walkouts weird feelings. They used the Sony A7R4, which is a camera they use for Fox Sports. It was lent to them. I don't think it's 8K. It's 4K. That might have been why, because they normally use, I think, Sony EX3s, which I use a lot, which are not 4K in the slightest. It has a very weird depth of field effect. But yeah.
Curious.
Yeah.
Alright. Well, on that note, Cesaro versus Daniel Bryan. In my opinion, one of the best matches that we had tonight. There's a shoulder... Alright.
You want me to take over?
Oh, God. No, we just gotta get this bathtub gin out of my fucking vision. Makes your teeth hurt. And we get a shoulder tackle to flatten Mr. Daniel Bryan. Don't look at my notes, because if you look at my notes, you're going to make fun of everything I've written.
AEM drag.
Tits. Well, we get a shoulder tackle that flattens Daniel Bryan and a huge arm drag to Cesaro. Daniel takes to wrenching Cesaro's arm. He gets him back in the corner, and Cesaro sends an elbow into his jaw to break the hold. He then whips Daniel Bryan into the opposite corner and uppercuts him, because it's a Cesaro match, and why wouldn't we have that? Cesaro whips him back to the other corner, and Daniel Bryan avoids Cesaro, sending him into the buckle. We get a nice little bulldog to Cesaro. I felt like this night was actually meant for me, because we got like 2 bulldogs tonight, and that's one of my favorite moves.
Mm-hmm.
So, Cesaro slams Daniel Bryan back first into the mat. There's a punch to the back of Mr. Daniel Bryan. Daniel fights out with some punches. But then Cesaro just kind of drops him with a little fucking leg sweep. After that, Daniel Bryan springs Cesaro into the ropes. Cesaro, I don't think this was supposed to happen quite the way it did. When he gets Cesaro back onto the ropes, Cesaro hits like the top of his neck, which just looks painful in general, but the bounce from that caused him to land on Daniel Bryan's head with his head. And that didn't look fun either. After that, we get Daniel Bryan just kicking Cesaro. Cesaro finally, we're ringside at this point. Daniel lands like a nasty fucking kick right to the throat of Cesaro, by the way, which, maybe I'm a fucking mark, but that looked like it just fucking landed. And I was like, what? But then Cesaro ducks the next kick, sending Daniel Bryan's entire little foot into the post. Cesaro then takes to kicking Daniel Bryan's injured leg. They're just kind of exchanging blows for a while. At this point, we realize that Cesaro is just bleeding from a head wound. It just looks fucking nasty. We then get a moonsault off the ropes over Cesaro, not onto. We then get like sort of a head scissors. It was a good head scissors, but it's a sort of a head scissors to Daniel Bryan. We get the yes lock on Cesaro. Cesaro breaks free and uses what little momentum the man has to do the swing onto Daniel Bryan. Once he gets tired of that, he goes into the sharpshooter. Daniel starts breaking free, or kind of crawling more towards the rope, rather. So Cesaro attempts a crossface on Mr. Bryan, and Daniel Bryan gets out really fucking easy. Daniel goes up to the top rope. Cesaro's up on the second, sitting on the first buckle. Daniel goes for the Hurricane Rana, and to his credit, we didn't have the mistake that we had last week. Thank goodness. Because that was embarrassing as a viewer.
What mistake was that?
When Daniel Bryan went up on Shinsuke for the Hurricane Rana and then just slipped right off.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I felt bad for Daniel in that moment.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of either succeeding or failing at it, Cesaro catches him. And we get a vertical suplex off the second rope. Cesaro looks for the neutralizer, but Daniel Bryan avoids it. Daniel attempts the backslide, and Cesaro manages to jump out of the cover. Finally, we get a huge fucking uppercut in the air. We get the neutralizer. Cesaro wins. Shinsuke wins. We're having a good night.
You can tell this match was all Daniel Bryan just wanting to push Cesaro over.
Yeah. Which I like. I just kind of wish that he would get pushed over at some point, too.
No, he's on the creative team right now. He has zero interest in winning.
I'm sure he does, or doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
But also, I want to clarify that note is in terms of anger.
No, I'm gonna point that out.
Okay, cool. Well, it's not what I meant.
So after that match, we have an interview with Carmella, and the only note that Liz has for this, in all caps, everyone clip this so that it's in the records.
Oh yeah, clip it so that you can clip Mark saying it.
Liz wrote that Corey is hot.
In terms of angry, he was mad. I'm peeking. You see what you've done?
You're not quite peeking yet.
I'll fucking peek for you.
There's a limiter on it. You can't peek.
If I scream really loud, it's just gonna be static.
It'll cut you off.
Oh, well, that makes sense. I meant in terms of angry, not hot.
No, I mean, you literally wrote hot, so...
Corey Graves has a little Wi-Fi forehead and a shitty attitude. I hate him.
But you think he's hot. Anyway, so we have an interview with Carmella. And before anything really happens, Sasha Banks comes in. The Somalian gets in the way.
Oh, we gotta stop doing that.
I know. As long as they call him the Sommelier, I will call him the Somalian. Mr. Reginald gets in the way, and Sasha challenges Reginald to a match. And if she wins, she challenges Carmella. or something.
Yeah. If Carm wants the match, Sasha gets to have a match with Reggie, and then Carmella gets the match. Which is just funny to me because Corey Graves does not do a good job of hiding the fact that he is sleeping with this woman. And he's just pissing and moaning about whatever, and you just see him, like, gripping his fists on the fucking desk, like, that's my girlfriend.
It's so funny, though. It's so funny.
I can't stand him, and I can't stand her.
And then we get Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn. Also, before we get into this, I just want to say that go on.
No, what do you want to say?
You know how Apollo Crews has gotten an Intercontinental title match, soon to be a second, and is now with Roman, which is a huge push for him. Mm-hmm. Apparently, he was a Heyman guy as well. So that really explains why he's getting this push, and we might see an Aleister Black soon if the Heyman guys are kind of getting a rise again.
I would actually scream. In a good way.
But there are rumors that Aleister might go to AEW, which is something we talked about.
There's a lot of rumors. Weirdly enough, mostly because it's not something that's got enough flack behind it right now for it to be reported on places like Wrestle Talk, where I get most of the news from. Mm-hmm. Because I trust those men. All men, though. Anyways. But it's nothing that I've seen in an actual article. I've just seen a lot of people discussing it. And it does kind of make sense because, Vince McMahon fired his wife for no good fucking reason.
Vince fired his wife?
Aleister's wife, yes.
Wow, I thought you meant Vince fired Linda McMahon.
Oh, no, Linda's been fired, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, no. That happened a while ago. That's why he's living vicariously through Ric Flair. You ever, inhale a little too hard with your nose, and it's, sort of like when you get water up your nose, and it's just, a little bolt of lightning into your brain?
Yeah.
Yeah, that never feels good. Anyways, hi. So, with Apollo versus Sami, Big E is ringside, sitting on a couch, little mini fridge, fruit cup, having a good day.
The IC title just draped over his lap.
Michael Cole mentions that he's there, and he says, "Blessings to you, Michael," in just the sweetest Big E voice. The sweetest voice.
Mm-hmm. A true vibe.
He's an absolute vibe.
Wait, did you say blessings or blessings?
Oh, titties. Should also be a comma there, technically.
Blessings to you, Michael. Why do you call him Appa?
It's easier than going Apollo. It's easier Appa.
Even when we're watching the episode, you call him Appa.
Yeah, because I just get used to the nicknames I give them.
If you ever call Tamina Mina.
I would never.
Okay.
Also, she's not on TV enough for me to care that much. So.
Yeah.
And she's not in the ring enough for me to have to take a note on her.
Yeah.
So. Sad news all around. Apollo launches Sami. He goes for a second throw, but Sami grabs the rope. Sami clotheslines Apollo out of the ring and meets him down there. He's then engaged. I believe he's on the apron at this point. He's engaged in a bit of a...
engaged?
Why do you drink so much, Elizabeth? Oh, I don't know. I don't know. Why?
Oh, God, it wasn't even a funny joke.
That's the worst part. I need your computer to start working normally again.
I would still make that joke if we were in separate rooms.
I know, but then at least I'd have, a door between me and you. I could just, Anyways, so Sami stands on the apron and speaks to Big E for a while. I don't remember what he fucking says. I just know that he calls Big E brother. And Big E, in the most jovial tone, says, "You can't call me brother." There's There's very few people that I enjoy ringside. There's very few people I enjoy at the like commentators table. Besides Kevin Owens and Big E.
Mm-hmm.
That's all I need. Apollo moonsaults. That's a different note, huh? Apollo moonsaults off of the announce desk onto Sami Zayn. I deciphered it. I know my own handwriting. Typing. Words. My sentences. Apollo goes to the top rope, but Sami trips him off and sends him face first onto the mat. Sami goes off the second rope with a drop elbow. He goes for the elbow a second time, but he's caught and German suplexed. There's a moonsault onto Sami that sends him into the cover with an inside cradle on Apollo. He just, he counters that shit. Just like Carrera Marble. He counters that shit.
What?
Like a Carrera Marble countertop. Like you're cutting up the fruit. Because it's like, that's an HGTV joke for you, baby. Woo!
Yikes.
I'm happy with myself as a person. Oh.
Anyway.
Okay. I'm gonna workshop that.
Please don't.
I'm gonna workshop the shit out of it. There is an exploder suplex into the buckles from Sami. Apollo rolls Sami up, and then shows off Sami Zayn's booty crack. And wins. But did we win?
Hell yeah, we got some Sami ass. Ass Zane. Oh, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. Oh boy.
Oh, but the show's almost over, huh?
And then we get Roman and Adam Pearce in the ring for the contract signing. They signed the contract. I don't want to go over everything that happened with the chairs because it was confusing.
What do you mean the chairs?
Remember, Roman didn't want to sit.
Oh, yeah,
forced
Roman.
Adam to get up, give him his chair. Adam...
And then Roman didn't have a microphone for the rest of the show because Roman's microphone was where his chair originally was. And then Adam Pearce's microphone got left where Adam Pearce was sitting when he went over to sit where Roman was sitting. It was very difficult. However, we still got the same shit-eating grin that Roman gave Drew that makes me want to fucking set myself on fire because it looks like he thinks the whole thing is just so funny. And I don't know why. But also, do you like what I said for it?
I don't get it.
Well, they're signing contracts and getting bitches.
They're not getting bitches, though.
They might be getting bitches, you don't know.
Unless you call Kevin Owens a bitch.
I called Jey a bitch.
Jey is a bitch.
Brah.
And then Adam Pearce signs it, Roman signs it, and Pearce, as he's exiting the ring, says, "I am so glad you signed that." And we all thought that he was gonna say that, well, he walks out of the ring and starts feeling injured in his knee, and he's like, oh, my knee, all these years of wrestling have started to come back to me, ooh, but it's okay, we have rules for that, and so when somebody is unable to wrestle, somebody else must take their place. And us fools thought that we would hear "Burn It Down," or worse, but still better than what we got, the Messiah song. But Kevin Owens comes out, and we get a three-peat for the Universal title.
It was really amazing how you and I both together forgot what Kevin Owens' walkout sounded like.
Yeah.
Not only that, but we forgot what the Seth Rollins "Burn It Down" walkout sounded like. Yeah. Which is... at least great minds think alike.
And they really fucked over Shinsuke. Shinsuke should have gotten that, especially since he was the next in line from the gauntlet match.
Yeah, Adam Pearce really did say, fuck the King of Strong Style. I don't know him.
He said, I don't want to say that.
Probably not. I don't know what it was. I'm just going to say probably not.
And that's the episode. I'm going to put up the sign. Here we go. Yippee-ki-yay.
You are going to break that. You told me not to break that.
Yippee-ki-yay.
Oh my god, why are you doing this? I'm going to have to fix that. I knew you were going to do that too. Oh, you suck.
Best of the night. Best of the night. Best of the night. Best of the night. Ready?
No.
Alright, too bad.
Ah. Tits. Tits and bitches.
Alright, so. Best of the night.
Best of the night.
Promo of the night. Oh, this is...
It was me.
We had Roman Reigns and Paul backstage figuring out stipulation. That was okay. Jey Uso in the ring.
Oh, have some energy.
Jey Uso in the ring, rambling. Ow, my tongue hurts so bad.
This is not a whitest kids you know skit.
I'm in so much pain. Shinsuke comes out. That was fine. Sonya and Adam Pearce. That was okay. Jay and Charles, whatever. Street Profits, alright, sure. Roman with Apollo, that was weird. Adam backstage with Paul. Jay and Roman backstage. Just kidding, it's Ray and Dom. That was alright, whatever. I don't get it. Ding dong hello. I thought it was stupid.
Stop! You're being annoying now. You've gotta happier and with your mouth open.
I can't open my mouth. I don't know why you don't understand.
Act like you're the co-host of a podcast.
Alright, so we have Daniel Bryan training with Otis and Chad Gable. This was pretty good. It was funny because we had Cesaro. It was one of the better ones. And then we had Carmella interview. This one sucked because Reginald is a piece of trash.
Dude, Reggie needs to get his ass kicked by Timmy again to remember his roots.
You can't say that because we're going to get demonetized. You can't say ass. Oh, I just said it. And then we had the contract signing, which was a huge disappointment. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of this bit. Anyway, fuck it. I'm giving it to Daniel Bryan training with Chad and Otis.
See, normally I get my opinions from when you run it all back, but now I've got to go back through my notes because you refused to read it like a person.
I did the same thing I do every week, every episode. I do that every episode. I don't give details.
You give some details. Why you liked it, why you didn't like it. I actually have to go with the Jey Uso promo where Shinsuke kicks him in the face. I like that a lot more. It gave Shinsuke room to shine.
But fuck Jey Uso.
True. That's why I want to give it to him because Jey gets kicked in the face and Shinsuke just stunts in the middle of the ring for no good reason.
Jey Uso gets kicked in the face.
Like, the fact that Shinsuke kicks him in the face and then does his like little back bend in the middle of the ring, I was like, sir? Do you do this after like every small victory?
Well, that was his old pose.
No, he still does that occasionally. It's just like I get it after a match. It's just like you did one thing, dude. It's like he finds like the thing that he was looking for in the grocery store. Just goes down.
I would too.
I mean, actually, that's fair.
All right, so wrestler of the night. We started off with Shinsuke versus Jey. I picked Shinsuke for this because Shinsuke looked great. Yeah, Shinsuke looked... he kind of brought that same quality he did for the Gauntlet today.
He's looking more like somebody that I would watch in a main event.
Yeah.
He's looking somebody I would watch for like an extended period of time, and I don't know how to put this. Like, I kind of like that we're taking a step back from Cesaro and Shinsuke tag team and going more towards Cesaro and Shinsuke best friends for the end, but, like, also doing single shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think that's the best way to get these two to shine.
Yeah.
I think that they're too good to be in a tag team together.
Kind of like Dolph and Rude.
They don't, but they kind of... I think because they match so well that it works.
I don't think they do. I just think Robert Roode's personality lacks so much that you need Dolph to make up for it.
That's fair enough. I think that I think that Shinsuke's such a star and Cesaro's such a star that, like, I don't think that they are good constantly together.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't mind still seeing tag team shit with them, but I think right now that's not their scene. So I'm glad that we're getting these matches that kind of, like, convince me I'd watch either of these two fucking idiots on their own any day of the week.
Yeah.
They make SmackDown worth it.
And then we have Natalia versus Liv. Right, that's the next one? Yeah. Liv made this match. If it wasn't for Liv, this match would have been dog doo-doo.
Poo-poo.
Poo-poo. Caca.
If you will.
Yeah, she was fantastic. I mean, even, like, not just by women's or SmackDown women's wrestling standards, by, like, all of SmackDown standards, Liv was fantastic. Then we had Ray versus Corbin. I think Corbin was the best just because we got an end of days. That was it. Nobody was amazing in this match. Nobody was great. And then we had Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. I picked Cesaro. Cesaro looked stunning, especially with that neutralizer at the end. The adjustment on the corner of the ropes when he went from, what was it? Went from Daniel Bryan trying to Hurricane Rana him to shifting it to putting him in a suplex position.
The vertical suplex,
Yeah.
where he stood on the second rope and lifted Daniel Bryan all the way over his fucking head in a vertical position. That was fucking ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Cesaro also is one of those people where I'm just like, it just doesn't make sense, buddy.
Yeah, and he also, like, he doesn't lack personality, too. He has so much that he's, like, kind of the full package.
Yeah, I think it also works because he's a goof, so I think that he's willing to kind of have, like, moments where he looks like a doofus.
Mm-hmm.
But he is just such an amazing wrestler that it's almost kind of, like, frustrating that you don't get to see him do as much.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just because he's in the graveyard that is SmackDown, which, to this day, I still don't understand how so many people are like, oh my god, SmackDown was amazing tonight. And I'm like...
It's because those are the people that ignore all of the bad shit and just judge it by the ending.
Yeah, that's fair.
And then we had Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn, and I guess I'll give it to Apollo. I didn't really like anyone in this match. Apollo had a good drop kick, and that was really it. So, Wrestler of the Night, overall, I'll probably give it to Cesaro.
It's a hard one.
Came down to Cesaro or Shinsuke for me.
Yeah, I'll give it to Cesaro, too. I like Cesaro a lot tonight.
Alright. So, now we have, finally, match of the night. We started off with Shinsuke versus Jey. Really fun match. It was fun. We had Cesaro doing commentary, which is great, but the focus was mainly on Cesaro that whole time, so we didn't get too much of the match. Which is kind of the problem with these, like, guest commentator matches. But what we did see of the match was great.
I did like that it seemed like Cesaro was interested in Shinsuke's match, because there were a couple times where they were asking Cesaro about, like, his match with Daniel Bryan, and Cesaro was like, that's not right now.
Mm-hmm.
That's, like, happening later tonight. Let's not talk about that.
Yeah.
And I was like, best friends. How is Vince gonna ruin this for me?
Oh, man. Time will tell.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have Natalya versus Liv Morgan, which was a pretty good match until the ending.
Yeah, that's fair.
I love Billy, but she ruined this. And then we had Ray versus Corbin.
I thought you said Rhea. I was like, what?
We had Rhea Ripley versus Corbin.
Dude, you know what?
That'd be a great match.
Fine. Sure, give it to me.
I would love that. Just see Rhea get end of dazed by Corbin.
I just have to say, for how ridiculous setting this podcast up was, I'm actually pretty impressed that has it been an hour and 44 minutes?
Here it is on YouTube. We're about an hour and a
20?
half.
Okay, still pretty impressive.
But yeah, Ray versus Corbin was okay. Ray kind of sucked. Corbin, I'm starting to realize that the only thing I like about Corbin are his signatures. The deep six, the end of days, and his fast Corbin around the corner.
I like his punches too. He looks good when he's doing his punches. And his clotheslines are hard.
He does like the wrist punch where like he doesn't jab, he goes kind of around with his wrist. I've noticed that when he punched Dom.
I think he's also a good character, so like I can kind of overlook the fact that some of his moveset's just kind of boring.
Yeah, if only they can give him good writing. Yeah. I mean, the context for this match was kind of shitty anyway. And I don't really understand where it ended.
I guess in light of all the COVID things, though, it's kind of a silver lining to be like, well, this could have been worse.
Yeah.
This could have been 4 Raw worse.
Oh my god. Well, to be fair, that's what you get when you have a 3-hour show.
Yeah, it's true.
And then we had Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro. Fantastic match. I mean, Daniel Bryan does an amazing job putting guys over. Cesaro looked fantastic. Daniel Bryan, even though he was just putting over Cesaro, he still looked fantastic. And a little blood was shed for this.
Yeah. Hopefully the gash in Cesaro's head, fixes itself.
Yeah. And then we had Apollo Crews versus Sami Zayn, which wasn't a bad match. Big E was like the highlight of it. The wrestling itself was okay. It was pretty good.
Apollo looked good.
Yeah.
Sami didn't get any moves in though because Sami's like in this position where he's just like the chicken shit heel, and it kind of just feels bad because like Sami's not a bad wrestler.
Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. But my pick for match of the night, I don't think it's any surprise. Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
I'm not going to pretend that I don't agree, because I do. I like this a lot. I thought it was really good. I thought that it's a match that we haven't been, like, jaded with yet. So, I've enjoyed it. Hopefully we won't become too jaded with it in the next 2 weeks, but I'm sure we will.
Yeah. And, quick Mark Power Rankings update. Our top 10 right now. Don't give me that face.
That was my power.
Okay. Number 10. I kind of want to do this weekly, but I don't know.
I thought you did.
You thought I did do this weekly?
Yeah.
No, I don't.
Well.
Number 10. Shockingly, Adam Pearce.
I thought you were going to say Shotzi for a second. I was like, oh, okay.
She's only lost this year, I think.
That's my point.
Number 9, Santos Escobar. Number 8, Walter. Number 7, Robert Roode. Number 6, Dolph Ziggler. Number 5, Jordan Devlin.
Ah, come on.
Number 4, Drew McIntyre.
In my fucking house?
Yeah, I know, Drew McIntyre. Sucks.
He's got COVID, dude. Not in my fucking house.
Number 3, R-Truth. R-Truth ranked over Drew McIntyre. How does that make you feel?
I thought we were going from the top down, so that's kind of crazy, actually.
Yeah, no. And then number 2, Finn Balor. And number 1, with a big W, Big E.
More like Finn Meowler.
All right, so the run it back, our promo of the night, Jey Uso gets kicked in the face. Wrestler of the night, Cesaro. Match of the night, Daniel Bryan versus Cesaro.
Liz, would you like to close out? I would like to, Mark.
Thanks for watching, everybody. If you... Come on. Close out the show for us. Okay, or don't.
Gin down the wrong pipe. My mouth is sanitized. Anyways, hey. God, I think I'm having a heart attack. Okay. This might be my last podcast. Anyways. Hi, folks. If you joined us tonight, Mike, thank you. I'm gonna choke through this one. Thank you. If you joined us in the future, thank you. Like I say every fucking week now, because I don't know what else to say, hope it's better. Just hope it's better. And if you are of the sending out good vibes sort, send some good vibes out to Elizabeth, because work might bury me. We don't know yet. Anyways. Please join us on Monday for what is always a fucking nightmare. Monday Night Raw.
I'm starting to enjoy SmackDown more than Raw. Raw's a slog to get through.
Honestly, can I tell you something? I'm excluding last Monday from this, because obviously last Monday was shit, and Raw does have the shitty timing of if we come back from a weekend and this shit happens, they're the first to get hit by it.
Mm-hmm.
So, and parties happen on weekends, so. But anyways, I feel like when we weren't working as much, Raw was more fun. Because we could do the podcast as late as we wanted. It did not fucking matter. Now, at least SmackDown, I don't like SmackDown. I really do not like SmackDown. I prefer the fighting on Raw. I prefer everything else that happens on Raw over SmackDown. But Raw is a lot harder to get through because I know for a fact come Tuesday morning, I'm going to be tired.
I think SmackDown is better booked than Raw right now. But I think what SmackDown is missing right now, the one thing that would really improve it is a stable. There are no stables on SmackDown.
Well, yeah. It looks like we might be getting one. I don't know. I would not say that I'm enjoying either or over one another. Raw's 3 hours, which is a negative. SmackDown's 2 hours, which is a positive, at least for us, because like we have shit going on. There's a very small part of me in many ways that misses not having a job, because I had so much more time to just do whatever the fuck I wanted creatively. But now I have to make money.
Now you do?
I mean, before I was getting unemployment. Just telling y'all.
The fuck was that? Did you hear that?
I did. I tried to ignore it so we could get through this. New York State unemployment is actually pretty decent for two people that don't have children and are just sustaining themselves. Otherwise, I can't say anything. But anyways, that's not the point. I just think that it's hard to judge both of them because it's apples and oranges in a way. Mm-hmm. I prefer the fighting on Raw. I find that there's a lot more matches where I'm sitting there and I'm like, fuck, that was bananas. Mm-hmm. Because you got AJ, you got Drew, you got Sheamus, you got Keith.
Bray Wyatt.
You got Bray, you got Randy.
Bobby. You
got Bobby, even Shelton and Cedric.
MVP.
As much as I hate to say it, Riddle. You get so many hard-hitting fucking guys on there.
Jeff Hardy.
Sure. Elias.
Well.
He's getting so much better.
I mean...
you have to admit that we both said last time that he had a match, we were both sitting there and we were like, well, fuck.
Yeah, but he comes in a pair now.
I don't see anybody next to him ever, so I don't know what you're fucking talking about.
R-Truth, too.
Yeah. They've just got so many better people on there that it almost feels like they put, because their ratings on Raw are so bad.
And the New Day.
But it seems like their ratings are so bad on Raw that they overloaded that side. Mm-hmm. And now SmackDown's just like a little ghost town. And they're like crickets chirping.
They thought Roman could carry the whole thing.
Which he did for a minute. Mm-hmm. He did for a whole minute. But it's difficult. And I mean, even Raw has Braun when he comes back. And Seth is out, Buddy's gone, Alistair's missing. It's difficult, but it's one of those things where it's like, at least with Raw, I'm like engaged more. SmackDown, at least I can just kind of fuck around for a while. And the women's division of Raw is just eons better.
Yeah, way better than NXT.
Sorry.
You did not hear what I just said, did you?
It's not.
I said way better than NXT.
How could you ever? However, if Rhea goes over to Raw, then we might have some differences. But anyways, please join us on Monday for Monday Night Raw, where Mark won't have to ideally get up at 5 a.m. the next day, so it won't be quite as stressful.
February 3rd, I will have to. I'm working a job.
That is weeks from now.
I know, but I have to get up at like
is
5
that a Tuesday?
a.m. Yeah.
Oh. Well.
5 a.m. I have to get up, and the podcast ends at like 2 a.m.
It's okay. You'll be fine.
I'm going to die.
I've been there before. Also, Monday is a holiday, which is awesome because we'll get to just relax all day. Will I probably still be working? Probably. But like, minimally. But anyways, so please join us on Monday Night Raw. It's always more fun when we have others around. Even if it's for like the first hour, because I don't expect anybody to stay up as late as we fucking do just for this. But yeah, and please make sure that you join us on January 27th for NXT, because it will be our 100th episode, and I will have just come off a massive fucking project at work that will probably make me want to tear my fucking hair out. So it'll be a huge celebration, including Elizabeth getting very drunk. And finally, please join us for Royal Rumble, where we'll somehow figure out how to make a prediction for Royal Rumble. I don't know how we're gonna do that, by the way.
We'll make a top 5 or top 3 of who was going to get it.
I'd say 5 because there's 30 people. We'll figure out. I think we can do a point system maybe.
And we'll do like, if one of our picks wins, we get the point. If none of them get it, then... We'll
talk about it. I've got ideas.
Okay.
I have ideas. This gin is just hitting me in the face. But yeah, thank you so much for joining us. Mark, you want to do the clout chasing and the shilling for me?
Follow, subscribe, Twitter, at Pinfall Podcast, at Mark Cameron, at Eliza Elaine23, twitch.tv/Mark Cameron, Universal Pokemon Federation.
Oh, I forgot to rub this in people's faces. DJ LeMahieu signed with the Yankees again, and
right,
Corey Kluber signed with the Yankees, and not the goddamn Mets.
On Monday.
Not the Mets.
Well, bye.